Welcome to this week's episode of Monday Matters, where I offer additional insights based on my church's Sunday sermon. And then I invite you to experiment with some practical applications for the week. All right. Now, I invite you to like, share, subscribe, and then click the bell for notifications. All right, guys. So this week's sermon came from the book of Nehemiah, chapter 8, verses 1 through 12. Now, we find all the people gathered at the water gate, and Ezra is reading from a book, the book of the law of Moses. So it's kind of like their Bible at the time. Now, to make a long story short, and hearing about all the adversities and triumphs, the ups, the downs, the enslavement and oppression, the disobedience during the wilderness, all of it, the people were both praising and mourning. And actually, some of them were weeping. And the scripture says that there were also people, the Levites, who helped to give meaning and make the message a little bit clearer so that people could understand better. So in this episode of Monday Matters, I am offering meaning behind their invitation, which was to be still, for this is a holy day, they said. They also encouraged them not to grieve, right? And to go and enjoy choice foods and sweet drinks, and then send some to those who were or who had nothing prepared. So now, this is actually the same message in a song by Dwayne Woods called Let Go. So you may know it. He says one night he just couldn't fall asleep. And there was just so much on his mind. And he was searching for that peace, but peace he could not find. So he knelt down to pray. And he said, Lord, help me, please. And then he heard God say, you don't have to cry because I'm going to supply all your needs. And then the chorus of that song, it says, as soon as I stop worrying how the story ends, then I let go and I let God have his way. That's when things start happening. I'll stop looking at back then and I let go. And basically, my words, I let God do it his way. And it's the same message that I give to my clients and the same message that I'm giving to you here now. So first, be still and pray. You know how we do it. You begin with your breath work, right? So you're inhaling and exhaling, smelling the flowers and blowing out the candles. And in that breathing, you want to use the template of gratitude to calibrate your energy to the peace of God, knowing that he is the source of your supply. And that supply is in continuous abundance. So stop mourning and weeping, worrying about how things are going to work out. And listen, when you hear yourself saying, I have to figure it out, then you're focused on conditions. Instead, focus your attention on what the end is, not how the end will happen. Just let go and let God handle that by supplying all your needs out of his abundance. That's when things start happening, seemingly out of the blue, wherever the blue is, right? And then there's one more piece to that song. It says, I'll stop looking at back then. Back then is the past. Past hurts, past guilt, past betrayals, right? The pain of your childhood, harmful behaviors from family members or church members or coworkers and spouses. Yes, even your children. All of it. I'll let that go and I'll let God do what he does. Now, you've heard me say this over and over and over, that everything is energy, right? And that energy operates under the law of circulation, just like our bodies. If we develop a blood clot, it can be fatal. Why? Because the blood can't then flow where it needs to go for us to live. The same is true if there's a blockage in our digestive system. And the same is true if there's a blockage in the energy, right? That flow of God's presence, God's love, right? It's God's expression of himself through us. And that expression always is. And it's always expansive. And when it flows freely, oh my goodness, we're alive and we grow into more and more, and it feels exhilarating and joyful. But when there's a blockage, we feel bad, maybe angry or depressed. See, our feelings are indicators of what frequency our energy is vibrating on. And God's frequency is always vibrating up here. It's never down here. And when we don't match that frequency, or when we do match the frequency, oh my goodness, it feels so good. But when that frequency is here and we're down here, we feel bad because we're not matching. It's like tuning your TV to CNN, and then you feel bad because you really want to see Chip and Joanna Gaines decorating a house. Well, what do? You could stay there crying and complaining, right? Right there where you are. But the only thing that's going to change is the expansion of your awareness that you're not vibrating on the right frequency, right? We say, oh my God, look what they're showing now. When is this going to change? And, is it ever going to stop? Well, it will when you change the channel to a frequency that does broadcast Chip and Joanna. And guess what? When you do get there, oh my God, you find that there's so much more that you weren't even aware of. I mean, there's Nikki Chu, there's the Property Brothers, there's Egypt Sherrod and Andy and Ashley Williams. And oh my God, there's so much on there. Yeah. See, God has set up the universal laws to work with mathematical precision. And math doesn't really care if you calculate a big box or a little box. The formula is the same. And the universe doesn't really care about your reason for the vibration you're offering. It just responds to the signal. The formula is the same, right? Whatever you read, that's what you're going to sow. So here's 5 steps. Number 1, be still, connect with the infinite. Enjoy yourself. Focus on the good things you already have, along with your vision, right? That place where everything is working out. That's the end. Number 3, you want to give to those less fortunate, because giving opens the flow for receiving. Yes. And number 4, do whatever you must do to keep a clear flow of God's presence. Yes. Last, number 5, let go of the how. Leave the mechanics to infinite intelligence to work out on your behalf. That's what it does. All right. That's it. That's the episode for this week. Your comments and questions are always welcome. And hey, you can always click that link in the description if you would rather have a private conversation. Nevertheless, remember, guys, it's not enough just to agree with the Sunday sermon or agree with me. It's what you do on Monday that matters. All right. Love y'all so much. I will catch you next week. Bye-bye.